Greetings and welcome to my channel. This is the last Encore Iron Mode video because these are the last two acts in the game. And I only have 3 characters left to work with since 2 of them, well, they're not around anymore, let's just put it that way. Yeah, let's get into it. Now, as you've already seen, the whole pausing the video to skip ahead so you don't have to watch me flounder around. The floundering around is going to happen a bit more often in these 2 stages since I have the least, practice with them. So I'm not going to, pause, say what happened and then, fix it. I'm just going to fix it in editing, so there's going to be, the time will shoot ahead for a bit, not the machine will shift like you saw just a moment ago. Yeah, I'm doing this to kind of speed up editing because, like I said, since I don't have as much experience with these 2 acts, there's going to be a lot of me not being as fast as possible. This also serves the purpose of me not making a big scene out of every single mistake I make, like some kind of drama queen. Yeah. So, this is Metallic Madness Zone from Sonic CD. And it has mechanics from Scrap Brain Zone from Sonic 1, which I think is an amazing mashup, and they really they really work well together to the point that it's kind of hard to really notice the Scrap Brain influence until later on. You'll see what I mean. You know, I honestly remember not liking this zone very much in Sonic CD, but it's really well done here, and there's obviously a level of verticality fitting for a Sonic CD stage in it. I am just stumbling over my words like crazy today. Yeesh. Gonna be honest though, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of these seesaws, although going back into the background and being able to play back there is cool, so not all bad. And just like that, we are at the boss of Act 1, and I remember thinking that I got here pretty quick while recording, and then I saw the timer. Yeah. I honestly genuinely think I could have maybe gotten close to having this time if I'd have known what I was doing ahead of time and practiced more and didn't make any mistakes. But not that big a deal. The whole challenge is to just survive, really. It's not that big a deal, but I do try to be quickly to make these videos a decent length and not too long. So yeah, this is the biggest source of Scrap Brain Zone reference I could point out, because this boss is literally the final boss of the first Sonic game ever made. Yeah. And here is where it gets interesting. I can assure you this part of it was not in the original game. This is a nice change of pace that is unique to Mania as far as I know. To be fair though, this boss needed this change because in Sonic 1 it's just the 8 hits and then that's it, you're done. It's just, crushers and those energy balls. There's nothing else to it. So this is a nice, refreshing addition to the fight. And here's Act 2 of Metallic Madness. Now, this act, fortunately, does away with the seesaw thing in Act 1, and does a foreground background transition in a cleaner way, and in a way that, if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, this is in the game. But you're not seeing it right now. I'll point it out when it comes up. I haven't pointed this out yet, but yeah, as silly as it was for me to complain about not getting a complete team switch last episode with 4 characters to play with, I only have 3 now, so can't complain because I don't have enough characters for a complete team swap this time around. I have to work what the game gives me, as I said last episode. Yeah, the team swap monitors are going to be a lot more restrictive in what they can do from here on out. Well, the what I was talking about a little while ago did show up as I was talking about the character roster remaining, but it went by really quick because I ended up taking a shortcut I didn't know was there. Then again, like, I spend most of my time in Mania mode, so it's not surprising I didn't know that was there. And ended up taking a detour downward, which, hey, did get to show off the, I guess the mini mechanic that was also in Sonic CD, where these, laser beams shriek your character, or, you know, grow them back out, as you've already seen. I have to say, though, I think the parts of this zone where you're small are actually my favorite parts, just because of,
Ameno, ameno, lanciremo.
Right as I was about to say how fun the mini parts of the stage were, another one bites the dust. And we're down to our only 2 characters left. Sorry I had to go out like that, Tails. Well, I guess team swap boxes are useless now. No point in focusing on those anymore. But yeah, what you just saw there, where I use that kind of rotating door to go into the background and the foreground, that's what I was talking about at the beginning of this act. It's honestly, I think, a more enjoyable experience than the seesaws from Act 1. But hey, here we are at the Act 2 boss. I honestly kind of wonder if, yeah, if this boss is the reason why Amy's not playable here, just because of these, Amy decoy bombs, I guess. But it's kind of silly to think that'd be the reason, I guess. All in all, like, an actual boss fight in mini form is kind of cool. Although it really is just a gotcha of previous bosses in earlier games, but... well, I guess Amy wouldn't count as a boss. It'd be more of a, the game developers messing with the player's expectations, I guess. I don't know. Now, you don't need to actually worry about damaging the little mini bosses this gacha game boss shoots out. You really just want to empty its reserves and then take it to its second form. Took down that boss so quick, I didn't have time to say everything I wanted to say about it. Oh well, I would have just ended up rambling anyway. So, here we are, the final zone in the game, Titanic Monarch. Well, it's the final zone in Encore mode. There's an actual, like, final fight after the boss to the second act of this zone in Mania mode, but I'm not on Mania mode, so I'm not going to discuss it. Also, you need all 7 Chaos Emeralds. I'm not clicking in most of the zones. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Titanic Monarch Zone. This one's rough. Gave me a heck of a time when I first played this game. And even now, like, yeah, I want to be honest, I only play a certain set of, like, zones when I play this game casually, so, yeah, not much experience with this, but I'm going to do my best. Now, despite this being a unique zone, it is not exempt from having mechanics from other zones in other Sonic games. Namely, Metropolis Zone in Sonic 2, with the bumpers that bounce you around, although that's also in Casino Night Zone, or no, Carnival Night, thank you. Carnival Night Zone, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. There's also Death Egg Zone mechanics from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The bridge that is weighed down by your character depending on which end you're standing on it, that you need to manipulate in a certain way to get to where you need to go. That's what I'm talking about. And there's one other thing that I'm not honestly sure where it's from, but I swear I remember it being in the Sonic game, and I will point it out when I see it again. It's already like shown up a couple times. That right there, the orb you stand on that twirls you around, I could have sworn I've seen that in Sonic 3 and Knuckles somewhere. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game, I'm not sure. But I swear I recognize it from a Sonic game. Not having a character with the aerial maneuverability anymore is a bit rough. Now this area you have to watch out for because you can very easily get crushed in it, and well, never mind, I guess I was thinking of a different part of the act. Sorry about that, a false alarm I guess. Yeesh. Now if I had to pick which Badnik I like the least in the zone, it's definitely gonna have to be this Moth Badnik. The noise that makes as it draws this circle around you and slowly closes it in as you move around. It's annoying. You can stop it by killing them or just by getting far enough away. Either method works, really. They're kind of sparse now, but they'll show up more and more often as the act goes on. And I think some in the second act as well. Now this is the bridge I was talking about being from the Death Egg Zone in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You just have to stand on one end until an opening appears to get to where you need to be. Usually you need to get one end of it to go up so you can climb up to where you need to get, but that was like one of the rare instances where you need to push an end of it down to get to a lower section. So as I'm editing this, I'm noticing there's a lot of footage here. I went through Metallic Madness Zone pretty quickly, but the amount of time it took me to get through Titanic Monarch Zone is just, because it's going to be a long video. I'm kind of tempted to skip some of this, but it is for a challenge run, so I'll play fair, I guess. Hope this video doesn't get to be too long. Fortunately, I know some of it is me bumbling around and not going as fast as possible, so there will be parts of it that I can cut, so hey! Oh, and look at that, just as I started to get worried. Here's the boss of Act 1, and it's actually a rehash of the first boss in Lava Reef Zone in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Specifically Sonic Knuckles, I'm pretty sure. Now, it starts out kind of similar, but the second phase of it is completely unique to Mania, and while it can be kind of rough, it's not as dangerous, so that's good. Especially since I'm down to my last two characters, hey. In Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the second phase of this boss had these platforms with spikes at the bottom, and whenever it charged this laser, the spikes would rotate rapidly around it, which basically guaranteed a hit. And here we are, the final act of the final zone. Whew! This puppy can get confusing, especially for new players. I remember having a really hard time trying to figure out where to go in certain parts of this. Fortunately, I have experience to let me know where to go here, so you don't have to watch me stumble around all that much, especially since any mistakes I make, I'll be editing out for the sake of brevity. If I could see that monitor better, I wouldn't have hit it. Oh well. Not like it did anything for me at this point. And yeah, that whole segment was kind of a pain, but hey, that's the final act of the final zone for you. Now, you may have noticed that there were like 4 routes to take at one point, and I took like the top left one. Yeah, that's kind of the gimmick of this zone, is that there's like 4 different segments you have to clear in order to get to the final boss, and this is the first one I took. That's honestly something unique and personally I think really interesting about this act. How it kind of handles, like, I would say the penultimate level of this game. Pretty cool. Okay, after what I just saw and what you just saw, I'm pretty sure the area I'm thinking of where it's very easily get crushed at is part of the Mania version of this zone. And my memory of playing mostly Mania up until now is messing with me. Yeah, sorry about that. But that's the first part completed, and I'm gonna head to the top right to continue the zone now. I'm sure this segment's familiar to anybody who saw me go through Hydro City Zone. It's also somewhat reminiscent of Scrappy Yard Zone in Sonic 1. This final zone's jam-packed with stuff from other games. Now, the purple mist below where Sonic's at right now will take you back to this beginning of the segment, so very important to dodge that whenever you see it, unless you're at that hub. Yeah. Gotta be careful, you know, make sure you go through the right purple haze, and not the wrong one. As fitting for the final act, the final zone, this area is just overcrowded with Badniks, and honestly getting a little bit annoying. Just wish I was a little bit more careful to get hit by the projectiles needlessly. That's, don't need a large amount of rings in a run that doesn't care about Chaos Emeralds, but it's meh. Alright, that's the first half of this act done. Let's see what the bottom left has in store for me. Ah, yes, this is probably the most iconic part of the stage for me because, yeah, this segment gave me the most trouble when I was first playing this game. But I've had it figured out by now, so don't worry. I'm even skilled at it enough to jump off a platform while it's rotating, hit a Badnik, and land right back on it in its second go around. Believe it or not, as much trouble as this quarter of the act gave me when I was first playing, it's really short. It helps that once you get out of the area where purple haze is extremely prominent, it gets a lot easier. Like a whole lot. Yeah, okay. I guess I was wrong. I didn't remember. I completely forgot about this half of the, this quarter of the act. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Now we only have 1/4 of the act left to go through. Fortunately, this little segment isn't really anything special, nor is it especially dangerous, so yeah, nothing to worry about really, just gotta get through it, and then we're on to the final boss. I legitimately have no clue why there's a weighted bridge here. You can just jump up to where you need to go, like, it serves no purpose here. See what I mean? Nothing special at all, and now we have nothing left but the final boss. I have not played every single Sonic game there is, but I'm pretty sure this boss is unique to Sonic Mania. And it's the same boss in Mania mode, in Encore mode, in Sonic Mania, and Sonic Mania Plus. There's no change here. It's all the same boss. And yeah, it's a rough one. Even if you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy to run low on rings after a while. It's important to note that those hands cannot be dodged. You have to get grabbed and sent to these segments. Some of them have rings, so it can be useful if you're running short. But that's not very commonplace, and it's in specific ones it's good to pay attention as well. Although this is the final fight, so you should be paying attention anyway. Really. You should understand how this boss works now. He can't be hurt while he has the bubble around him, so you have to wait for him to latch to the ground, electrify the cables connecting him to the wall, and then when they stop electrifying, he'll have a brief window to attack with. And as you damage him, cables will start falling off, giving you more room to attack him, so that like you can jump over like the lower cable while it's electrified if there's no upper cable on the side that you're on, so you can hit him while the cables are being electrified, and also attack him during that window, you know, while he's recovering. That said, I only have one ring now, so these are looking like pretty dire straits. Whew. The only other things I can really say about this boss is that you can't stay in one place all the time until he has an opening, because of the missiles that he fires. You have to kind of watch out for those. And yeah, there's a timer upon which these hands will come out and grab you to take you to a different scene. So it's not entirely a waiting game. It keeps you on your toes somewhat. And honestly, like I've said multiple times when it's talking game mechanics, I'm grateful that it keeps you on your toes somewhat. Makes it feel like an actual final boss fight. And, as you just saw, you have to be careful how much oomph you're putting into your jumps when you go to attack him, because if you have to cross the same, like, good amount of distance to hit him every time, that window is small, you're not going to get enough hits in to progress the fight. There we go, now I have a good amount of rings to work with. Should make dealing with this thing a little bit easier, or at the very least I've got options next time I need to scramble to put the rings I just lost due to getting hit. Well, that didn't last long. Oh well, at least I'm down to the last cable, so this fight shouldn't take too much longer. It is kind of a shame that the rings in this section didn't respawn, but I can probably handle him with what I got now. Besides, this section's easy. Well, that's ominous. But hey, that's what happens when you don't collect Chaos Emeralds in your challenge run. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow's video is going to be an update video regarding the whole rebranding thing I talked about at the start of this challenge. And the final video of the week will be a continuation of something that's quite a bit overdue to be continued. Hope to see you there. Farewell.